Hey, what is happening, ladies and gentlemen? It's AK Rex here, and a bit late to the party with this one. However, I decided might as well, obviously, add my own views to this new Jurassic World: The Lost Kingdom trailer. So let's get into it, shall we? Well, first thing that I wanted to point out is from this dialogue between Claire and Owen, I already can see that he is not over her. He is still bitter about their breakup, obviously, because he taunts her about her, dating another dude. And I suspect that they're gonna get back together for some reason, given that obviously this universe, along with many others, are quite cliche when it comes to certain character tropes. I can predict 95% chance that they're probably gonna get back together. If they don't, that would be quite a bit of a surprise and maybe not a bad one, but we'll see. Then one other thing I wanted to point out was that Claire apparently said that Blue is still alive. Now, how does she know that she is actually alive? Because last time we saw Blue was at the end of the first JW film, and that happened when they were leaving the island after, the fight with the Indominus, blah blah blah, etc. And at which point, how is it possible for her to know that this dinosaur is still alive? Because there are other predators probably roaming free on the island that could be able to easily eat her. There's a whole bunch of big herbivores who would, by luck, could have killed the raptor as well, because it's a small fragile creature. And if something like a Triceratops or Ankylosaurus or a Stegosaurus, for example, got angry at it for whatever reason, say if it was, poking about too much. And if they got her, that's it, it's dead, So I don't really, there's a lot of basically possibilities and factors that could potentially mean that this dinosaur could be dead. However, she positively identifies Blue as still being alive. Where does she get that information from? That's what I'm kind of wondering. So have they got some kind of surveillance there or what? How are they certain? How is she certain that she's still alive? It's just one of those things that I kind of couldn't help but noticing personally. Now, my next point was, it's a nice kind of, obviously, somewhat a little bit humorous foreshadowing that Owen said about how, this could only end well, this whole plan for the mission, and of course it never does, really. There's always gonna be a problem in the process, I'm pretty sure. It's just how it is. Jurassic movies are always like that. They always set up some plot and then they go, yeah, sure, this and this, what could possibly go wrong? And then everything goes wrong. So the next thing I wanted to address was we have finally got Brachiosaurus reappearing, which is awesome. We got Ian Malcolm back as well, which is also awesome, because I like Jeff Goldblum a lot as an actor, and I like Ian Malcolm. Sorry, words are difficult again for some reason. Anyway, I like Ian Malcolm a lot as a character as well. I feel like, for some reason, I felt like, his portrayal of character in the second film left me wanting a little bit more on his side. I was really amazed and, blown away by his character in the first film, and in the second film it felt a bit underwhelming on this part. So, yeah, naturally I'm happy that he's back, at least for this kind of appearance. I don't know how big of a role he's gonna play. However, I am very, very grateful that they decided to bring him back. And the other thing, though, that I don't agree with what he says is how he says that, the dinosaurs may be here after us. Yeah, it's true that the maybe is the key word, so it's maybe yes, maybe no. However, I'm not in favor of this idea that if dinosaurs were repopulated on the planet, they would, eradicate human species. It's just with the technological advances that I see how humans live in modern day life, I just don't see that happening at all. And, if anything, they could potentially cause damage to the, already existing ecosystems, because obviously, they could take over the niches and all of that stuff, because they are in many ways superior to many modern animals. That is, if we were to simply take it for granted that once they get brought back, that they are able to perfectly fit in to this modern, environment, oxygen levels, etc., etc. Like if we just neglect those nitpicks and we just accept it for granted that this is possible. That's just me kind of sidetracking a little bit, but I just couldn't help but noticing that point as well. Now, one other thing I noticed was they are bringing back, sorry, not bringing back, well, yeah, Compsognathus got brought back into the franchise again, and they also brought in some newer dinosaurs, which we haven't seen in the franchise before. However, there are some of them I find that are a little bit inconsistent so far with the established lore. And here's what I mean by this. Compsognathus and this, whatever it is, if it's an Allosaurus, then it would be Allosaurus. If it's a Metriacanthosaurus, then it is consistent because it's already been established that it is part of the exhibits, on Nublar, so depends how you look at it. And then we have Acarnotaurus, and also there is a shot of something that looks like a Styracosaurus. Now, those were never featured in the exhibits, even in the background, like on the website, for example. So they're obviously just shoehorning these in, which I don't know if they're going to ever really address how they just miraculously ended up being there. I mean, the film itself never really gives us a full list of exhibits that are on the Nublar Island, so there's that possibility that they were simply there, we just haven't seen them. We've had confirmation of some of them being there, but we haven't had every single confirmation. So of course they could, fit it in based on that. However, if the website information, which obviously actually is inconsistent in some areas as well to what the movies are saying, at least, so I'm kind of a little bit skeptical trusting the website as a source. But if it was consistent, and if it is indeed considered to be an official lore, then okay, then this new addition of the dinosaurs is basically not consistent with what we already know, based strictly on the website. Based on the films, we don't know, so that could be consistent. Do you understand where I'm going with this? So there's a bit of an issue I have here with how the continuity is being portrayed in these films, especially starting from the third film, which I never talk about anyway, because it's a crime in the history of this franchise. Anyway, and yes, starting from the third film onwards, it's kind of becoming a little bit tricky and messy when it comes to continuity in this franchise. So the first two films were really like on point, yeah, at least within the film universe. We're not talking about novel universe, because novels have their own canon at this point in time, because they just really are completely different from what was shown in the films, and I don't think it's fair to treat them as the same canon. So, and they're never really treated as the same canon anyway, because it's an adaptation and it's not really a direct, on-screen portrayal of the novel in many cases. So, regardless, to get back on track, we have this other scene with Tyrannosaurus showing up to kill the Carnotaurus. Now, I don't like several things about this scene. First, it's kind of making me feel like, okay, why were they doing the same cliche thing with, the T-Rex standing over a dead dinosaur and making this quote-unquote iconic roar? It's just really, like, it's been done before. Why are you bringing the same sort of thing back? I appreciate some of the callbacks to the nostalgia that they did maybe in the first installment of JW. For example, when the T-Rex is getting let out of the enclosure, and we have this kind of, brief glance over with the music theme of, of the original Jurassic Park music. If you notice, before the T-Rex, gives out its roar as it chases after Claire. That was good, there were a few other moments that were good when it came to nostalgia, which was fine to me. But this here is just really too much cheese for me to handle. It absolutely reeks of Blue Stilton. Like, I don't know, Brie, Blue Stilton, you name it, anything. Like, think of the smelliest possible cheese you could put in a room in about the size of a lorry, and that's basically what it's like to me, like right now. You know what I'm saying? It's absolutely unnecessary in my opinion. I believe it could have been done completely different. And also another cliche point is it's almost like they're trying to humanize T-Rex by making it save human characters all the time, while it doesn't emphasize a lot of attention on the fact that it was just probably hunting, and Carnotaurus happened to be this very easy prey at the time because it's much smaller. Secondly, because it was already distracted by another source of, potential prey, and it would not see a T-Rex, charging at it in time for it to, run away or something, because it would have been an easy kill to make. However, they didn't portray it like that. They showed it like the T-Rex just killed it, standing there showing off, and Owen is just standing there just looking, wow, that's so pretty. Run away, you idiot, because once the T-Rex stops showing off, it's gonna probably draw its attention on you and think, oh, you're in my face, I'm kind of trying to eat here. So yeah, why don't you go away, mate? But except not like this, but it will probably try to murder you in the process because you're technically in its face. That's what predators do, generally speaking. If you get in their face, they will probably murder you if they're, in the wild or whatever. Because, they're quite protective of their territory. So, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of one of the issues I have here. And the other thing I wanted to point out was how is it that, when they were hiding behind this log, the tree log, and there was this stampede, and somehow dinosaurs all managed to ram through all parts of the tree log of this dead tree, except for the middle where the humans were hiding. Convenient plot points are just convenient. Let's just agree to that, right? So it's just, yeah, one of those. And then, of course, there's this Compsognathus jumping at this new character, dude, whatever, I hope he's not a kid character, by the way, because I honestly cannot stand it when they try to shoehorn kid characters into this franchise, because they're like the freaking Mary Sues of this whole franchise. You can never do anything to them. Like, they can't get murdered, they can't get eaten, which is stupid, and I get really tired and sick and annoyed of this particular thing that they're trying to shoehorn. Like, make a freaking JP/JW film without a kid character in it. Or at least if you are making kids in there, get at least some of them eaten so it feels like nobody is really safe. It's annoying. It's freaking annoying. Yes, rant mode is full on here, by the way, just so you understand, in case you haven't figured that out already. Moving on, so this Compsognathus, I was saying, my god, I got so sidetracked there, apologies, but yeah, this Compsognathus was jumping at this character, while all it should be thinking about is running away because there's a freaking volcano erupting, and yet it's kind of going, oh yeah, let me just see if I can single-handedly take out this human being, because why not, because I'm just that badass. Well, let's just remember this Compsognathus as the badass Compsognathus, thug life Compsognathus or something, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, then the other funny thing as well is I don't know, some people have mentioned that Owen is supposedly able to outrun this whole thing with the ash. Sorry about the beep on the background, by the way. This whole thing is just, wouldn't he get burned badly in this whole process? And also, that kind of makes me question: does Owen actually survive this mission? I would think he does. I don't think he would die. But it's another thing that you kind of already know probably that he's gonna live. Like, you don't feel like these characters are under any kind of level of threat. I mean, genuine threat, like, you know, because you know they're gonna live, and like, I don't know, it feels to me like they fail to deliver this kind of idea that a character is genuinely being in danger. You already know that no matter what happens, they're gonna somehow make it out, and that's one of the things I am somewhat concerned about of why or where this franchise has gone. Now, I mean, I have various issues with where they are going with this, and one of them as well, and this is like basically me agreeing with this particular point that has been brought up already. There was one of the YouTube channels, I can't remember who, was doing a reaction to this trailer as well, and she brought it up to the attention, and one of my friends, Josh, also brought it up to the attention, that somehow they couldn't have initially, hired a pro, like, geologist or whoever to predict potential, seismic volcanic activity on the island before they would even start planning to build a park on it. So this kind of basically, throws a whole lot, just a whole freaking bucket of poo all over everything that has been established on Nublar, as far as the plot goes. So there is that. Yeah. I mean, you would think they would have some kind of scientist like that on their payroll, given the amount of money that's been invested to build it and then, rebuild it. You know what I'm saying? So that's well done, Universal, or whoever is responsible for doing this. Like, writer, script writer, yeah, well done, mate, well done. Yeah, can't say anymore, I'm afraid. There's just really nothing else to say to this. Just amazing, amazing. Anyway, thank you for watching very much. Please leave your thumbs up, and please subscribe and share if you enjoyed this, and also let me know in the comments what else would you like me to do in terms of my creature review series. I'm quite behind on my list on creature review series, but I've got some special treats for some of these planned already, so that means you have to be a little bit more patient, but it will come eventually, and I will try to, in the meantime, go over the list of the creature review series, in whichever order I feel would be more convenient and quicker and easier to do, so that I can obviously tackle them, because it's piled up to a huge amount, and because of my recent illness, I've kind of, because I've been unable to record any content, and that kind of got stocked up a little bit, so I've been asked a few questions by subscribers, so I'll just let you know that I'm working on it, okay guys? Just I'm only one guy, so let me just take care of it in my own due time, and it will happen, okay? You'll get it. That's 100%. I just can't promise exactly when at this point. It will happen soon, but it will depend on many things, okay? And right now it's Christmas, and there's other things happening around, and I've got a lot of things to sort out at my old workplace as well. So there's just lots of crazy nonsense going on right now, and all of that is going to be a bit difficult to, combine. Well, with that out of the way, please check out my Patreon page. I'm currently running a campaign on this idea of the documentary project that I have. It's called Arms and Armor: A Race of Mesozoic, and for more details you can obviously read it there. If you have any questions about that particular project, please leave a comment below as well. And also, if you want to do any other kind of videos, for example, if you want to see some of the tutorials, because there's gonna be a tutorial planned as well anyway, but for painting. But if you want to see more tutorials, please also let me know. And if you want to see more tutorials or videos in general regarding my Warhammer 30k collection, or my how I build and paint these models and stuff like that, if any there are, because I know there are some of you on the channel who are into this as well. So let me know, what would you like to see? Like, do you want to see me paint more of my Alpha Legion, or do you want me to show you how I did my Iron Hands, which is also another recent thing I've started? So just let me know all of these things in the comments down below, and we'll figure something out. Anyway, thank you very much, guys, and take care of yourselves. Have a lovely jubbly day, and good Christmas when it comes, if I don't see you before. Bye bye.